Welcome back, fellow farmers, to Misled Farms here, and we are back for episode 2 here on No Man's Land. Episode 1 should be well up and on its way by now, as you are watching episode 2. That was one thing I really didn't talk very much about when I put the first episode out, was the frequency in which we were going to release episodes, and then whether or not there was going to be anything that I was going to do off camera. So I am going to address those couple things right up front here at the beginning of this episode. If you enjoyed episode 1 and you're looking forward to more No Man's Land content here on Misled Farms, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes as part of the series. Like I said in the first episode that went up, probably looking at 20 to 25 episodes, maybe even more than that. But so as far as it goes for doing stuff off camera, we are going to try to limit that as much as possible. However, in the event that anything does take place off camera, the very first thing that we will do in that very next episode is an update of things that were done. Now, the only things I'm probably going to do off camera are most likely just going to be some map work, such as maybe putting down some decoration type stuff, like some other houses, making new roads, just building the map out for the most part. Like the stuff that would just kind of be mundane to watch for the episode, that's the type of stuff I'm going to be taking care of off screen, behind the scenes, and then update you guys on when the next episode would come out. Back to the chore list for today. Now, we are probably going to run ourselves into the month of September, mainly because I want to be able to plant wheat in the field that we're going to do some field work in today. A couple other things that we need to do, and I really wish I would have thought about this before I returned the mower. We need to do a little bit more mowing and a little bit more baling, which, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, because we don't have much money as it is right now. And to continue to lease all of that equipment again, and it's going to take a while, especially with only having one mower as an attachment. But we are going to eventually, if not in the month of August, maybe in the month of September, October, we are going to plow a field back here after we harvest as much grass. Now, I'd like to use the grass again just to kind of do like the outline, the trace of what the field is going to look like. We may have to take care of some of these trees that we currently have back here. This tree right here is going to have to come down, so that is out of our way. And this tree over here is going to have to come down, so it's out of our way. And basically, our field is going to span the whole width of plot 26 here in the back of our farm. I'm probably going to work on putting a road in here today, just so we have like a little service drive that takes us back here to this next field that we're going to put in. But we need a baler. We need to bale. I may do a little bit of tree work and cut some trees down in here to take back up to the shop and sell off and try to maybe make a little bit of money. I'm thinking what we could do right in here is, once we clear some of these trees out, we could put a couple greenhouses in here. However, until we get to that point, let me go ahead, let me call the shop and see what they have for a baler that they can bring down here. I'm sorry, a bale wrapper, and see what they can bring down here for us that's relatively cheap for us to lease. The shop was super quick to bring us the bale wrapper down. It ended up costing us about $1,200 here to lease this bale wrapper for the short amount of time that we're going to need it. Let's see here. We're unfolded. Automatic drop is on, and we'll just kind of cruise around and start getting these bales wrapped up. All right, picking up and wrapping the final bale here. This will complete the little bit that we mowed down. And yeah, at this point, we're going to move on to the month of September. And the reason why is I got to keep an eye on my money, because we have a $2,600 mortgage payment that's coming up in the month of September, which is going to deplete about half of our bank account. It's going to sting. Maybe I should start cutting some of these trees down now. But I really don't have a sufficient trailer for them, for the trees that we do cut down. Let me just park this. Matter of fact, let me just hook right up to our plow so that we're ready for the month of September. I think we're going to jump in the truck. Yeah, some of these trees are pretty small. I think we can manage this with just our truck. We have a big tree back here. These two I'm probably not going to take down, but this big tree here I'm definitely going to take down. And I thought there was one more. Yeah, this one right over here. So that's probably going to be about it. I think we'll start here at this corner and then just kind of work our way in. So I'm going to take a little bit of time here, get these trees cut down, get them all chopped up, and yeah, we're going to load them into the back of the truck, run them up to the store, and see how much money we can make off some of these logs here. Well, we finally finished cutting down the trees and getting this whole area cleaned up. Took me a little bit longer than what I was anticipating it to take, but as you can see, I wanted to show you guys how much money we actually made off of doing that before I went into the month of September and the deductions came out. So we ended up making actually just over, I'd say right around $4,000. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but yeah, 4K is what we're going to call it for right now. And so here's the thoughts that I have for making use of this area. Now, this could be a very temporary thing that we do, because eventually when we progress enough and we start to expand the farm, this area in here may be a good spot to put a new barn down. But we'll play that by ear. Right now, what we're going to be looking at is productions, and we're going to be going into greenhouses and taking a look at some of the different options that we have to put down for greenhouses. Now, mushrooms and the flower nursery greenhouse are probably pretty OP in the early game, because the pallets spawn at a pretty significant rate. So like right now, let's see, what side does the pallets spawn on? They spawn on the right side. So we'd be looking at putting a greenhouse there, and then probably a green, oh, it says it overlaps with another object. I'm not sure what that object would be. Yeah, we could fit both of them right in here. Maybe I'll just do one greenhouse for now. Is this really the area that we want to put the greenhouse though? I think that's the other side of this, is that I need to make sure that this is in fact where we would like to put the greenhouse. We could put it over here, and it is kind of up and it's out of the way. It's not necessarily something that we're going to have to work around. But before I do flowers or mushrooms, I would like to take a look and see what it is that the price of each of those are going for currently before we make this decision. And if we take a look here for flowers, currently in the month of August, price is dropping a little bit, $20.84, and mushrooms, $26.75 for mushrooms per 1,000 liters. You got to be kidding me. And the price only starts to go up in, oh Lord, I think we just figured out what we're going to do. We're going to be growing some mushrooms. It's going to be a fun guy farm. Ha. All right, so all poor jokes aside that I could possibly tell. Now, the nice thing about the mushroom greenhouse, it doesn't need any TLC for the most part. Let me just say for the most part. All right, I do have another mod installed that is activate automatic irrigation. So this is just going to automatically run water, will fill to the max volume. So we're always going to have 5,000 liters in there. We produce 100 mushrooms per cycle. And then we can also upgrade the factory, or upgrade the greenhouse, which is going to increase our cycles per month, which increases our output, I believe. I'm not going to do it right now just because of the fact that we don't have very much money to mess around with. We just dropped 1,800 bucks for that. Oh, I need to set this to producing. Yeah, we actually need to activate the mushrooms. There we go. Distributing, storing. I mean, I kind of feel like we probably just need to set that to selling, so we don't really have to worry about the pallets spawning. And then that just keeps income coming our way for... Yeah, I'm just going to do that, because we don't even have a way to haul the pallets, except for throwing like maybe 2 of them into the bed of the truck and running them up to the store. So yeah, we're gonna set this. We're gonna change the output mode to selling, And yeah, we're just going to leave that be. But September, I think it's time. I think it's time to roll into the month of September and get an idea of what the monthly expenses are going to be. I'm a little nervous. The greenhouse is going to have an upkeep fee to it. And yeah, we very well could just be dirt poor tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. All right, welcome to the month of September, where apparently we made $20,000 already this morning. Good Lord, how? How did we do that? It's got to be the mushrooms. It has to be that the mushrooms sold. Let's go into, let's pull up our bank app on our phone here, and let's take a look and see how we ended up making the amount of money that we did coming out of the month of September and out of the month of August and into September. All right, so yeah, there it is right there. It sold product 12,700 and then 12,000 again already in the month of September, and it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, we're gonna make a ton of money this month. Mushrooms may have been a little OP for us to really go with this early on in the game. We're gonna let that run, but if we start to feel that it's just getting a little out of control, then yeah, we're probably gonna shut the mushroom production down for a little bit, because I'm not looking to try to already have $100,000 in the bank by time like in 2 months. That was not the intent of putting that mushroom greenhouse down. But yeah, with that, we need to get cracking on this field, because there's a lot of stuff that we need to do this month now. Precision farming, we got to get that rolling, and that means we got to take our soil samples. I want to get this plowed up. I do have to just double check a setting real quick just to make sure that it is where I need it to be. I think if I go in here, field stone, okay, it is still off. That is perfect. Again, I'm not a big fieldstone person. I don't necessarily. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh, this is not good. Yeah. Yeah, this is not good. We can't pull this. So looking at the plow here, 180 horsepower to pull it. This could be an issue. Yeah, it's 190 horsepower. I guess I'm just not understanding how we don't have enough horsepower with this. I mean, can we maybe add? I think this already has the biggest engine on it that it can have. Yeah, we have the most powerful engine package on the tractor that we can have. 190 horsepower. It's right there. We have it. Okay, hang on. What do we have on the sales page? We have nothing on the sales page. Of course we don't have anything on the sales page. All right, we need, yeah, we got to figure this out. So we need something. This is bad. I mean, we're going to have to lease a tractor just to plow our field now. I mean, it ain't much better. It ain't much better. But it's gonna do what we need it to do. I mean, that's yeah, that's rough. The other plow that I normally use is so much more efficient. But yeah, we don't have the 320 horsepower tractor that's really gonna do the work for us. Yeah, thoughts on putting that other field in? Yeah, we might be waiting. Maybe it's a good thing now that we planted the mushrooms and in the greenhouse, to where we can make a little extra money quickly, because yeah, we're gonna need it. So I am going to continue plowing this field here, and then once I am complete, I'm going to extend it out. It's going to take me quite a while to get this knocked out. Thank God we start our day at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's going to give us plenty of time to still do any other chores that we have around the farm. But yeah, I'm going to continue plowing this all up. I'm going to extend the field out a little bit, and yeah, I'll catch up with you guys when this little bit of work here is done. So I may have found a bit of a workaround for our plow issue here. You'll notice that this is a totally different plow than what we were previously using. And then just to show you, the plow that we were just using, plus the Massey Ferguson that we leased is over there. And I went ahead, just out of pure curiosity, and leased the Lizard 9-meter plow that's rated at 320 horsepower. Now, you're probably thinking, Misled, how in the world, then, if you couldn't pull the other plow that's rated at 180, how is this older Massey Ferguson pulling this one that requires 320 horsepower? And to answer your question and pique your curiosity and drop a little bit of education here, a little learning moment on Misled Farm, if you pick the plow up to where the tines are in the opposite direction of what they should be. So basically you're going to attach from what would be like the opposite end of, we should be attaching from this side, but we are attaching from this side. It ignores any horsepower requirement or speed limitations, and this tractor will automatically go at its max speed and will plow the field. So what we're going to do to test our theory is we're going to drop this down in here. You can see I'm already going faster than I was with the previous Lizard plow that we had. And yeah, I'm basically just going to make sure that we're lined up here on our edges. I'm going to allow create fields. And we're just, yeah. Well, I mean, you're watching it. You're watching it happen. We now have a 9-meter plow. Now, the problem is I leased it, which is not necessarily a problem, but like, obviously, I'd love to have this 9-meter plow, and I'm actually going to stop right there with this and then raise the plow up. I think what I'm going to probably do, just to avoid needing to go around that stone, let me just kind of reposition here. I don't want to go too far over in that direction, to be honest with you. Let's go ahead, drop this down. And yeah, I mean, we are literally probably only going to go about that far right there. That's what I'm thinking for right now. I might angle the field off just to kind of make it, just to gain a little bit more space, but I don't know yet. I'm not 100% sold on that idea. All right, looking good. Extended our field a little bit. Created a little bit more space, solved our horsepower problem, kind of. You remember, realistic-ish. I mean, we're not, yeah. Anyways, so the field, looking good. Definitely a lot, I say a lot larger. I mean, it's not, we could come out this way even a little bit more, but it just, yeah, at that point, I mean, for what? An extra 500 liters. I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess when you say it like that, it does sound like a fair amount of stuff. Now, what we need to figure out, right, what we need to really stop and think about. So this Massey Ferguson tractor here, technically no longer needed. Let's go ahead. Let's turn that back in. It's not needed. Return. Yes. Now, this becomes an issue because we have $19,000 in the bank. This plow here is worth $6,200. And to purchase the Lizard 9-meter plow, I'm not worried about working speed for right now, is $19,000. We're putting a lot of faith in making money off of our mushrooms again, which we know that we're going to do. So I could, in essence, buy this plow. But the catch is, as soon as I plow this second field, I don't need another plow for quite a while. Not until after we do our harvest will I need another plow. So I think with that, we're going to roll the dice. We are actually going to sell our current plow that we own, and we're just gonna rely on this leased plow that we have and utilize that to get our next field put in. Damn, I just realized too, we have silage bales. Where are they at with fermenting? 41%. What's the chances? What's the chances these are 100% silage in the month of October? and then we sell off 9 of those. We make about $10,000 off of those. We're going to have our mushroom production kick in. We know that we're going to make at least $25,000 total off mushrooms, if not more. I think we're going to make more. Currently, right now, we're at 107 liters and counting, which is good. I don't know that we've sold any product yet this month. I mean, I can pull up the phone, pull up our statement history in our bank and see if we have received any deposits from selling off any product. It does look like we've sold another $1,500 worth of mushrooms already this month. So we're in the red, or not in the red. We're in the black this month. I mean, we're looking good. We've made so far this month, we've made $9,000, but keep in mind we also sold our plow, and that's factored in. That's factored into this. How are we looking on our loan is the other question too. I kind of want to see this. I kind of want to see this working. So remaining amount $157,000. Truthfully, we're going to be at the point, especially with these mushrooms, where we're going to be able to start throwing some extra money at this. Probably not so much right up front, because I'd rather focus on getting better equipment for the farm in the immediate future. This is going to pay itself off, and eventually this is going to be down below $100,000, and hopefully, at that point we can start kind of taking some chunks out of this remaining balance. And I know I said, like, ultimately, we can't take another loan until this one's paid off. I don't necessarily know if that's really going to be necessary when we get there. Speaking of necessary, though, the one thing that is going to be necessary is precision farming. We talked about it. We're going to do it. We're going to stick to it. So what we need is the soil sampler. We are just going to go ahead. We're going to lease it for right now, because realistically, there's no reason to own this whatsoever. Just lease it. It's super cheap to lease. Just do it that way. Anytime you put a new field in, just know that you're going to need to lease the soil sampler if you're looking to do precision farming. All right, so here's how this works for if you're unfamiliar with precision farming. It's rather simplistic, really. So the large green circle that is around our player icon is the radius that will be sampled if I were to drop the soil sampler down, like we'll start right here. So as soon as I lower this down and then tell it to take a sample, it'll start to blink yellow. It picks up the soil. You can kind of see it taking place down there. It's pretty cool. You'll see some things moving around. So now we're done there. I'm going to drive forward, and then you will see like that burgundy color has now taken place in the field. That means it is pending a soil analysis. So let me see if I can get you guys like a little bit better of a look of the actual soil sampling process taking place. So here we go. Taking our next soil sample, fills it with some dirt, and we're already halfway done with our field. It's nice when you have smaller fields, because obviously the radius of the green circle covers a lot of the field for you. But yeah, larger fields can get a little daunting to do soil samples on, just because you have to take so many of them to cover the entire field. But this one here, like four soil samples, and we're already done. That's perfect. It's ideal. These soil samples cost $100 per sample. So once we're done with this sample here, I'm going to go ahead, lift the soil sampling kit. We're going to fold this back up. And yeah, at that point, we send soil samples for analysis. Yes. And then as soon as they are done, we will get charged for them. Should not take very long at all. Yep, there it is right there. Soil samples are analyzed. Done deal. So these soil samples being analyzed gives us soil data. Not surprising. So right now, if we look, our environmental score, which is a big factor. In the long run, we want to raise our environmental score as high as we possibly can, because once we start to sell off product, and we'll start to see it with like our mushrooms, even like all the stuff that we do is even cutting trees down, selling greenhouse products, harvesting our fields, definitely. We're going to get an environmental score boost to the sales that we make. So in the long run, this is where I say it's expensive to get started, but you make that money back in the long run. Our nitrogen kind of sucks right now. 1.2, not good. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not a good number. It's not where we want to be. But we'll get there. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. So loamy sand, we have a little bit of loamy sand here, sandy loam, and then just regular loam. Not too bad, right? Now, what'll happen is when we plant crops is different types of soil will increase the seed rate. So certain soils will cause you to consume more seed more quickly when you're planting. Some soils, they won't be so hard on your seed that's in your planters or in your seeders when you're working your fields. So soil type's pretty self-explanatory there. They color code them. And then again, that was the color for the soil samples that we were taking. Then we move over to pH balance. So this is where lime would come into play. And right now we're hovering. It kind of looks like we're in a mixture of about 5.5 up to maybe 6.25. It looks like 6.25 right there in the middle. And then if you look though, it's kind of based somewhat off of the soil types. So this field right here definitely needs a coating of lime in order to get we'd want to be up here in about the 6.5, 6.75, 7 area. That's where we'd want to be with this field for the soil. And then we get to nitrogen. This is where we're going to be hurting. So this is why our nitrogen rating is down at a 1.2 right now. You can also see pH value that they have it maxed out. So depending upon the soil type, that might be where it just needs to be. And then the crop that we plant, I think, also has an influence on the pH, but don't quote me. We'll figure that out when we go to plant our crop. Nitrogen, though, is going to definitely need some work. This is our fertilization right here. So where normally, if you're playing the base game, what you see is you see stuff like this where you have your stages of growing, you're ready to harvest, cultivated, harvested, all that kind of good stuff. But what you don't see anymore now is fertilization. Fertilization is normally up here, and it's a 2-stage process. You have to fertilize your fields twice to get 100% fertilization, all the way into the second stage. Lime, you'll just get, like, if you were to be just looking at your field, it would just say needs lime, or needs rolling, or needs fertilized, or weeds growing. It'll kind of do the same thing, but you can see down there in the lower right-hand corner, precision farming is already activated. So it says pH value is okay. It recommends a 6.5. We're currently at 6.1. So this area right here is not going to take much lime to get to where it needs to be. But if we move around, we start to see different pH values. So this one's good. We're 0.25 off on that. So again, not going to take that much lime. This right here, bad. pH value, bad. It's no good. Need to fix that up. So eventually we're going to have to get some lime on this field. Now, what is the overall benefit of precision farming? Let's look at what the long-term benefit of precision farming is. And that brings us to the yield page. If you look at these percentages here, base game with lime applied, fields rolled after you sow them with some seed, and then throw down 2 stages of fertilization, all that good stuff. And whether you have weeds turned on, if you're spraying herbicide, or if you have weeds turned off and they're just not a factor. Base game without precision farming, you're looking at likely probably touching 90% yield, maybe getting upwards of 95. It's going to be pushing it a little bit. With precision farming, you're going to be up in like the 115%, 110%, maybe even the 120%, depending on how well you're managing all of your fields and taking care of them. So this is also where you're going to make a lot more money, is on the expected yields that are going to come off this field. So we'll keep an eye on our expected yield here, and I'll continue to point this kind of stuff out as we go through the precision farming, and eventually you guys will see how all of it comes together and produces not only just more yield for us, but also is going to make us more money. So speaking of lime and fertilization, let's just go ahead and do that. A couple things I need to do real quick though before I get too far into that. We need to reset where we have our vehicles delivered, which is pretty easy to have done. And so now our new vehicles are going to deliver there for us. That's the vehicle delivery mod via Farming Hub or Farming Sim mod hub. I love the mods in this game. We can go ahead. No, I don't want to unfold that. I just want to detach it. We don't need it anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and get that returned real quick so I don't forget about that and it ends up costing us more money than it really needs to. We have, I believe, yeah, 2,000 liters of fertilizer and 4,000 liters of lime. Now, I probably overestimated on the lime here, but it's always better to have more lime than not enough, because lime, again, it gets pretty expensive. They may only be $450 per pallet, but the amount of pallets that you need, that 450 adds up pretty quick. So I'm going to go ahead and fertilize this field, or I'm going to lime the field first, and then I'm going to fertilize it. And then we will go ahead and look at getting our stuff planted. So I'm going to detach from that. We can leave the fertilizer in the truck for right now. Let's jump back in the tractor. I did just realize too, we cannot... Can I not do a 3-point attach on the front? This tractor is really starting to kind of bug me a little bit. So I can't do... yeah, this tractor's kind of really starting to annoy me a little bit. I don't have the 3-point attach on the front, so therefore I can't put our the nitrogen sensors on. This is kind of irritating. It's kind of, that's a bummer. I think on our priority list of things that we need to look at doing here in the near future, one of those things is going to be getting a new tractor for sure. It's got to happen, because right now, see, like right here. Okay. Oh wait, so it is picking up the lime. All right, hang on. We might be in that. We might be okay. All right, so we have automatic application rate up there at the very top is activated. You can see we are humming right through the line. But if you look down our mini map in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see now that we are kind of painting this green trail through this field. That is the lime application being updated in real time. So right now we are dialing in the pH balance for this field to exactly where it needs to be for sandy loam, and the soil types will change as you progress throughout the field. So now what'll happen is, if you look down the lower right hand corner, our number is not going down anymore until we get back onto the field, and then it continues to go down. So we're gonna have more. I don't want to jinx myself just yet, but we are going to have plenty of lime to get this field done. I'm thinking. Now, there are some small areas, like when you miss small areas like I did here, it will not put lime on there. But trust me, it's good. It has the amount of lime that it should have. So we'll go ahead. Yeah, see, like that area right there, it's not letting us put any more lime down. That area there, same deal. Yeah, I'll cruise down the edge of this field, but for the most part, the liming is done. As soon as we clean up these few little small areas here, assuming it'll, yep, okay, perfect. Like the very edge of this field, it's not really going to be too concerned about. There, we're going to clean that up a little bit. And so basically, this whole field, which had we not been using precision farming, I guarantee you we would have used all 4,000 liters of that lime. I assure you all 4,000 liters probably would have gotten used just on this small field here. If not all 4,000, we definitely would have used, we'd only have maybe about, we'd have under 1,000 liters left, which is a big difference compared to what precision farming does for us. Best part is when you're done with the lime, unload it, not necessarily right into the middle of the field. Thank God for liftable. Oh, that's right. God, that's so annoying. So annoying. So the problem becomes, even when you buy liftable, or when you have liftable bags and pallets mod installed, anytime that you deposit I wonder if can I? No. Okay. Well, anyways, we're going to set our lime over here. I have liftable bags and pallets mod installed just to kind of show you guys how that works. Pretty simplistic, but same size pallets, right? But you can lift them. However, when you unload them from your truck, or when you unload them from your spreaders, for whatever reason, they don't return back to being liftable. I don't know if I'll have to check and see if maybe I just have to do an update. Maybe that's all it is. But for the nitrogen balance, let's talk about how that's going to work. So you're going to have an option to change nitrogen reference value. So right now, what we would want to do is, let me get finish getting filled up here with fertilizer. All right, once we get onto the field, we should, yeah, there we go. All right, so, well, with that then, goodbye to goodbye to this. Don't need it. Return that. And we're going to hold on to everything else. So right now what I'm going to do is, right underneath where it says mineral fertilizer application, you see the checkered flag, and then you see the green bar underneath the checkered flag. There's some text there that says no crop detected. Seed first for best result. Using target for barley on loam. We do not want to plant a barley field. We want to do a wheat field. Which reminds me, let me double check. Do we want to do a barley field, or do we want to stick to doing wheat? Let's take a look at what sells for more. I think we've already done this. Right? There's wheat. There's barley. Yeah, oat. Should we do oat? No, because we can't plant it. Yeah, so we're going to do wheat because we make more money off wheat. So I will, in essence, change my reference value until I get to oat. Or wheat. I'm confusing myself now. Wheat, right there. So now it is going to apply the amount of fertilizer that we need for wheat to grow in that soil type. So this is going to automatically kind of take care of all this for us. So I'm going to go ahead and fertilize. And you can see again, down in the mini map, we're painting that green stripe. We're getting our nitrogen values to where they need to be for wheat on these different types of soil that we have in this field. Perfect. And now when we seed this field, we should see a pretty decent percentage for our yield. It might not really kick in for the first harvest, but nonetheless, it should kick in eventually, and our yield is definitely going to start to go up because of the precision farming aspect of everything. So let me get kind of over here to where I can cover more of this field all at once here. Feel like that's pretty accurate right there. Now it does want us to seed the field first for best results. It does say that there, but right now with not having any seed, we can definitely do this. And then the worst case scenario, so we loaded up with what, 2,000 liters of fertilizer, and we haven't used hardly any of it. We used 750 liters of fertilizer to do that whole entire field, and that's it. Like, that field is fertilized now. So if we jump out here, pH values are good, nitrogen's right where it needs to be. Now if we go back and we take a look at our precision farming for this field, and we go to nitrogen, what was all orangish and red before is now green. Our pH balance, same way. We're right there. We're right where we need to be, kind of right in that slot. Our nitrogen values will start to go up probably once we have a crop actually seeded, which is going to be the next thing that we're going to do. We have the money. We have the seeder. We might as well just go ahead and get it taken care of. Let me call the store and have the co-op bring us down a couple pallets of seed. And yeah, we'll get this field rocking with some wheat. and take a look at what they are predicting early on that our yield is going to be. Huh, so I just realized this actually already has 304 liters of seed in it. Okay. And I promise you, I did not already start to load this. As you can see, that's still full with 1,000 and full with 1,000. I guess that just, yeah, just had some seed left over in it. I bet you conveniently enough, had we not extended that field, I bet 304 liters is the precise amount it would take to put wheat in that field that was once withered potatoes. I bet that's probably why you start with that amount. But so we're going to have some seed in reserve then, is basically what it's going to boil down to for us. And I'm hoping that this tractor moves somewhat efficiently in getting this field seeded. So we'll go ahead and lower that down. We'll turn this on. Oh boy. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, we're kind of moving right along. Let me deactivate the work speed limit. And yeah, we'll move 1 mile an hour faster. So we'll go ahead and take one pass here, and you can see the variable seed rate depending on the soil. Not too bad. Not too bad. We've only used 10 liters of seed, and we've almost got this entire headland done down this side here. So yeah, we are going to have plenty of seed to get this whole entire field done. This tractor, though, is about horrible. Like, this thing right now, seriously, is on the struggle bus. All right, cleaning up the last little pieces of the field here. Yeah, the Massey is kind of struggling with this seeder, even though it's a smaller seeder, and we probably have plenty of horsepower for it. This Massey just doesn't really seem to like it. I think I have a little bit more up here at the headland that is closest to the house that needs just a little bit of touch-up. I can kind of see a very small sliver, like we're kind of right over top of it right now. I'm just going to clean that up a little bit just to make sure that that is all done. I like it. Okay, so we did this whole field. We did this whole entire field, and we didn't even use half of our fertilizer or our seed that we had. So even the 304 that was in there to begin with, we would, if we seeded with that 304 currently right now, we would have had enough. We would have had enough to do that entire field. We only used 288 liters of seed to do this field, so we would have still had some left over. So as you can see right now, we have pH value is perfect, nitrogen, fertilization is nitrogen, again, lime is pH. Both are perfect, and our expected yield is 122%. 122% for our yield. We have maxed this field out for yield. That's what we're expected to get. That's awesome. That is awesome. So, definitely, again, I'm a big fan of utilizing precision farming in this game. And if nothing else, I just like it because it gives us the ability to make a little bit of extra money. Rolling the field, I ran a test on rolling fields after seeding them and having them fertilized and limed. It didn't really do anything for the expected yield. I think maybe it bumped it up like 8% or 2%, but it's not something that I would say that you probably have to really worry about doing. If you're someone that doesn't want to take the time to roll your field, or there are mods out there that allow you to automatic roll. So as you seed, the field will take the state of having been rolled as well. So you can kind of cheat your way through it a little bit, but you know, hey, this game is much more fun when you play it the way that you want to play it. And for me, I just don't roll the fields. I should probably just get the automatic rolling mod and install that. But yeah, many different ways you can play this game. I'm going to, I'm going to refill this seeder just so that we know it's full. And let's, there we go with that. So this seeder is full. It is ready for its next adventure, which won't be for a while. It's going to take us a minute to get to the next point to where we're ready to... Oh, let me just run that into the side of my barn. It's going to take us a while to get to the point where we're ready to throw down another seeding session for the fields here. Speaking of these, I'm just going to kind of move this stuff off to the side real quick just so it is out of our way. And we don't have to always navigate around it. I do want to check our silage bales real quick. I know I just checked them this morning, but let's just see where we're at. Because realistically, we don't have much work left to do for the month of September. I mean, we could mow the field. Yeah, we're at 46% already on those. We could mow the field that's out back. I need to return this trailer here. It has fertilizer in it. We probably should unload that. That way we have fertilizer on hand here at the farm. And we won't necessarily need to worry about grabbing any more fertilizer because we just don't have anything that needs to be fertilized. Fertilizer's been unloaded. We can go ahead and return the fertilizer spreader. Yes, done. I think what we may end up doing, just out of curiosity here, do we maybe want to do some mowing? I don't know that I want to do the mowing, but maybe. Yeah, let's do a little mowing to end the episode with here. So we are going to go ahead and take care of mowing the area that is directly behind our house. I have been currently recording this episode for 2.5 hours, and it always is it amazes me every time I go in to start editing these videos that I take a 2-hour clip, and after I am done editing it, it's turned all the way down into like a 25-minute episode. It just seems like it's so crazy to record for 2.5 hours, 3 hours, and then use 25 minutes of that 3 hours for the episode. So yeah, I'm thinking we do some mowing out here in the back as I run it right directly smack dab into my truck. That's perfect. You know what? I think we're just gonna mow a pattern, and we're gonna take a look at it when we're done. And if we like it, then that's what we're gonna use. So with the mowing complete, I'm kind of getting an idea of what this field is going to look like. It is going to be a relatively smaller field. Now, a couple different options I thought about doing was maybe come out this way with the field, right, and then connect it around through here. And then all we really have to do is just navigate around that large rock structure with the harvester. But realistically, I just feel like that's kind of, right now, it's just going to be a little bit of a waste. I want to take just a little bit closer of a look at it. Maybe what I'll do is I'll mow out just a little extra path here. But yeah, I was thinking like if we came this way and we stayed up off that rock just a little bit and then started to basically wrap it around this way and then connect up to here, it would give us more field, but at what cost? You know, it's basically gonna be a lot more challenging to harvest around that. But I'll finish mowing this last little bit up. I did realize after I started mowing that using this style of a mower means that we also now need to use a windrow to make our baling efforts a little bit easier. Kind of didn't really think about that initially, because now we have to, in essence, lease another piece of equipment just to get the windrowing done to get this ready to be baled up. But yeah, I think while I finish up this little bit of mowing here that I'm doing, I feel like this is going to be a pretty good place for us to end this episode. So overall, been very productive. We got our first field put in. We got precision farming started. We have the greenhouse down. We're making some money off the mushrooms. Again, if we feel like that's getting a little too excessive and we're making money a little too quickly and things are just becoming very simplified and easy, then yeah, we'll probably go ahead and deactivate the mushrooms for a bit, and we'll kind of take a break from that. But yeah, with that, productive, right? Farm's coming along. We got a second field outline kind of going here a little bit. Not necessarily too sure what we're going to plant here in this field, but I'm liking it. So far, so good here on No Man's Land. I hope you guys are all enjoying the content out there. Again, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes for this series or any other series that we do involving farming sim here on Misled Farms. We'll see you in the next episode.